All right, I am excited today to have our guest. It is the electric Marty Royale. Marty, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about how, in depth you are into the Vancouver scene already. You're performing at NEW, Boom, All Star, Apex, just to name a few. Talk about how it feels to be so involved in the Vancouver scene so fast.
Um, it's pretty exciting, I gotta say. It's a little bit like a dream. Sometimes I still am amazed that I get to train with some of the wrestlers that I watched as a fan years ago, and now I'm training with them, and to be able to perform on shows next to them, it's pretty wild. And I sometimes have to pinch myself to remind myself whether or not it's real. But I'm having an absolute blast. Everyone who loves wrestling knows how awesome it is. And now to get to be a part of it and really dive into the deeper psychology and everything involved with wrestling, the business, and all of that, I'm living my best life, as they say.
Awesome. And, when you're out there performing, you really look like you're enjoying it too. It shows on your face. So we're happy to hear that you're living that dream now at this point. So you talked a little bit about your training. You trained out of LIons Gate Dojo. Talk about your experience there and maybe a specific story that you'd like to share from the Lions Gate Dojo.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty surreal getting to train there. At times it feels so serious, and at times it feels like we're all just having the most fun. I can remember times people getting injured, unfortunately, at training. And sometimes it's on just the most basic stuff. And I always kind of took that as a reminder, like, whoa, I know we're all here just, doing rolls and having fun and stuff, but ultimately, like, this is dangerous and people can get hurt. And I've been pretty darn lucky, touch wood, to not have any major serious injuries or anything yet. But it's a little reminder sometimes at training when I see people get hurt. You hate to see it, and it's a reminder just how dangerous it can be what we do.
I remember I did an interview last year where someone talked about how hard it is to do wrestling training. It's not easy. You hear the F word getting thrown around all the time. So for you to emphasize that injuries are real, that it really proves what it takes to be in that ring performing.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, that's, you get injured, you get the mind block that kind of holds you back. You think we all call it imposter syndrome. You kind of feel like, oh, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe this is just a hobby. But no, if you're in the right mindset, you can take it as fuel for the fire and just, like as we say at the dojo, training never ends. And it's truly a testament. Like we're always constantly learning, constantly refining, constantly trying to be and get better. And that's the mentality that we're given there, and we're given a an avenue in which to excel at it if we want to put the effort in.
And there's so many opportunities, out there in the lower mainland now for training opportunities. So, if you're thinking about it, there's tons out there. So you're living proof that you can live your dream out.
If a 44-year-old guy can do it, then hey, maybe you can do it too.
Talk about what we can expect from our Marty Royale match. What kind of style we're expecting, what matchups we're looking at.
I find that there's so many different styles out there. I like to pick and choose a little bit from each of the ones that has sort of inspired me over the years. Um, you're going to see a lot of drop kicks in a Marty Royale match. You're going to be entertained in a Marty Royale match. You're going to see some funny stuff. You're going to see some serious stuff. You're going to see an unhinged guy with a lot to say about electricity. Um, but that's kind of what I try to bring to the table is I hate to quote the Fed, but entertainment. I'm there to put on a good match. I'm not necessarily there to win or lose, but I'm there to entertain the fans. And I remember it was a rodeo show in one of my first years wrestling. And a kid came up to me afterwards and said, "Wow, I really like you. I like your intensity." I was like, "Well, okay, got to do it intense from now on. This kid's confirmed it's got to be that way." So I try to remember that each time I do my entrance and I plan my match and my promos and all that kind of stuff. Like the kids and the families, they're a big part of who we're entertaining for, and I try to make sure that they would enjoy a Marty Royale match if they were to watch it.
For sure. And you talked about intensity and how you can portray that. Now that kind of leads into my next question. Liiza Hall. She claims to be the silliest face in the Pacific Northwest, but some days you give her a run for her money. Explain kind of the focus that you put on towards your facial expressions while in the ring, because it really does show. It's awesome.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Liza because she is the silliest face for sure. And I remember a promoter who was a friend of mine mentioned that she had an absolute perfect like facial reaction set for TV. And I have no doubt that one day she'll get there for sure. But I also try to kind of take that advice and bring it out in my reactions. Like maybe I can't get slammed as hard as some of the other guys, but I can sure make it look like it hurts like hell. And I noticed as well as I was getting photographs of my matches afterwards from fans, they weren't necessarily of all my sick moves. They're of me getting, walloped and then this big look on my face. And I brought that from refereeing as well. Some people might say my reactions when I was refereeing were a little too much, but that's okay. I don't do that anymore. So, but now with wrestling, over the top is exactly what we're going for. So I definitely try to bring that out a little bit and make those reactions sell to the crowd.
And you hear this a lot, wrestling's moments. So you see that photo, you see that moment of your reaction, and that's gonna sit in your brain for a little bit. Whereas you're not gonna remember all 52 moves of the match. You're gonna remember those expressions. So that really goes to the moments of wrestling for sure.
I'm trying to build a nice catalog where every like emotion, I have a face profile pic of that emotion so that then I can just, if I ever need to do some promotional social media work, I can just like, boom, that's how I feel today. Boom, that's how I feel today.
Yeah, and
But
I'll give you a merch idea. You know the T-shirt where it's got like angry, happy, sad. You could put your face on there with those different reactions if that's what you're going for.
I love it. I love it.
I won't take royalties, don't worry.
Oh, feverishly writes it down.
So tell me what maybe is a dream match of yours, whether that's locally or dream big with a big name, whatever that looks like. What's a dream match for you?
Well, I mean, I'm probably saying what most people at the dojo would say, and that's I want matches with my coaches. Either one by one, tag, whatever it might be. I want a match with my coaches, partially to because they're all incredible wrestlers, but partially also because I want to show them what I can do, what they've taught me, and I want that moment of being able to sit across from them in the ring and be able to show them exactly what they've shown me to do. So that's a big one for me. I'd love to be able to get some of those matches under my belt. Um, I definitely really have been pushing a few promotions locally. I want a match with Zay Perez out of
Right.
Oregon. Some people say we kind of look alike. I don't
Okay.
know, maybe,
Okay. Maybe. Maybe.
maybe a little. He's definitely a match I want. Elliot Tyler's another match I really want. Yeah, there's just so much talent in the Pacific Northwest right now. It's so hard. Maxwell Benson is another one. I really want a one-on-one once he's back and healthy. He just eats, sleeps, breathes wrestling, and I definitely want an opportunity to grapple with him for sure.
Well, and that size difference would be huge, right? That gives you the opportunity to sell for him, and he's a bit of a powerhouse. So a nice little test for you.
You can take bit out of that sentence. He's a powerhouse.
There you go. Yeah, and for yourself as a performer and as fans, super lucky to have the talent pool that we have right now in BC. Like lucky is an understatement.
I was just gonna say one of my favorite things, and I don't get to do it that often, but like once every couple months, I get to actually go to a show and just watch.
Yeah,
I'm not working, I'm not reffing, I'm not doing security, I'm not helping out. I'm just there to chill out and watch. And yeah, it's always inspiring and always great to see some of my colleagues, but also just the amazing wrestling that's going on right now.
totally. What are some short-term and long-term goals within wrestling for you?
I definitely want to. One of my cheeky little goals is I want opportunities to do all the silly ref games. I
Okay.
want to now do those being on the other side of the
Yeah,
ref games, like the ref distractions, the ref gets bumped and then wakes up at the opportune moment. I want to now do those to a referee, having them done to me for so many times. That's definitely a cheeky little goal that I have. I got to say though, as cliche as it is, I wanna be a champion. I want to win championship gold somewhere, either singles or in some part of a tag team. but I want that moment. There's that word again. I want that moment of being able to hold it and know that a group of people, a promotion, a community believes enough in Marty Royale to say, yeah, we're going to make him our champion. And that's, yeah, I want that moment.
And last question for you, Marty, is where can we find you on social media?
Social media. Okay. So I am on Instagram mostly, and I'm just Marty.Royale. I can be found on the Horrible X app. I'm just at Marty Royale PW. And I am also on Facebook, Marty.Royale.2024.
Perfect. Anything else you'd like to plug before we head on out?
Just indie wrestling in general, like whether you're a Marty Royale fan or not, come on out, support local wrestling. It's so important to put butts in seats, and even if you don't know all the wrestlers on the card, you're going to see some good wrestling. The wrestling industry is so hot these days, especially here in Vancouver and surrounding areas. If you're, in the northern United States or in other areas of BC, make the trek, buy a ticket, support local wrestling. It's so important, and you will not be disappointed. Bring the family. It's wrestling is awesome, and everybody should get to enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Marty.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It was great talking with you.